Welcome to Monday and another episode of Patroma Therapy. Today, we're going to talk about how there's no place to hide. Or maybe we don't want to talk about it because then people can find us. But hiding and shadow self and trying to find a place to hide, I think was inspired by you. You were talking about goldfish have no place to hide.
Checking.
Okay, I've been talking
Welcome.
I've been talking for 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was here. I know.
Oh, I
I
didn't know
just,
if you were there. I thought you were hiding.
yeah, I was, I was hiding. And yeah, welcome. I just want to know you are valued and I am valued, and we are listened to based on the number of subscribers. I just had a look this morning. We have 94. Go figure.
Very good. Well, we have a new subscriber. He goes by the name Justin Traveler, and he has his own YouTube channel, and he travels different places and has some wonderful uh, video footage of Sweden and other places that he's visited, and he has really interesting music. So, welcome to Justin Traveler. You're just in time for another episode, and of course, our dear friend Michael, who is not in Albuquerque at the moment. I believe he's traveling all over Malaysia or someplace. I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry that I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry too.
yes. Well, just as a brief introduction, last night was it really wasn't so long ago. Last night was Sunday, and some friends got together and invited me over. My friend David and Haley were making chicken tortilla soup. And then another fellow was there too, and he had a bottle of bourbon, and someone had a case of Dos Equis beer, and it was kind of foggy and cloudy. And then I came over and I had an onion, and I brought a can of tomatoes, and so we just got together and kind of made some soup and drank a little bit of beer, and it was a great way to wrap up the weekend, which was yesterday, and now it's Monday. So I don't want to say I'm just a little bit hungover, but I just said I'm just a little bit hungover. But I'm remedying that. I'm having some oatmeal with some raisins and walnuts and butter in it, and I'm having a small cup of coffee. Are you hiding in any drink right now, or are you just drinking water?
No, it's strange that I had a bottle of Jack Daniel's the other day, but I didn't even feel buzzed. A little bit, maybe. But because the thing with whiskey is you don't drink it like by shots because you have to sip it. And when you sip it, it probably just takes time to, uh, what's that word? Anyway, to process. And in the meantime, you're like always high, but not too high. And I
Right,
don't
right.
have any hangover. I don't need another drink. And but then again, hangover is good because it only lasts a day. But memories you had last a lifetime. For instance, you had a
Exactly.
day the other day. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. But the hangover will be over tomorrow, right?
Yes, and the thing is, I usually don't do shots. I was going to just have a beer because this beer tastes really, really good with this sort of spicy taco soup, and but then this other guy was there, and he was wearing kind of a cat in the hat, Dr. Seuss hat, and he was sitting there drinking a Miller High Life beer, and his name was Bob. and my brother's name is Bob. And you know what Bob spelled backwards is? B-O-B.
Robert?
The word Bob, B-O-B, if you spell it backwards, what is it? B-O-B.
So
It's the same.
what's your point?
Okay, the point is that Bob had brought this bottle of whiskey, and basically David and Haley were just going to drink beer, and I was going to just drink beer. But everyone was being very friendly. Also, Bob brought cookies that had chocolate chips in them. So, like you say, you don't do shots because you're not in large crowds with people buying drinks for you and forcing alcohol on you, right? You're just a calm guy who just sips his whiskey. But that's good. That's good.
No.
So
I want to have a spicy soup. I like soup. I between soup and love, what would you choose? I mean, right now I would probably prefer soup.
me too.
I want soup so much,
Soup.
and the spicier the better.
Yeah. Also, Haley likes it with jalapenos cut up in it, which makes it jalapenos on the side. So there's little extras you can add on the side. So there's the basic soup that David made, which has like onions and tomato and shredded chicken and oh gosh, I don't know what else was in there. Chicken stock and tomatoes, and he kind of simmered it for a while, so it was a little bit thick, but not too thick. And then on the side, you can cut up a little green onions, and you can add shredded cheese. You can add crispy chips when you serve it. So it was perfect for a well, I don't think we're in winter yet. Winter starts December the 21st, but we're moving into colder days. Yeah. What
No,
kind of soup do you like?
you've given me such a detailed description of the ingredients. Actually I feel aroused a little bit. But I think that women have that primeval desire or instinct to make soup, don't they?
Oh, you mean?
Because
Oh, I mean, I thought you meant to make men aroused.
maybe it's just me, and I could be wrong, but yeah, maybe that because they can feed soup to anybody who looks like a likely candidate for soup eating.
Exactly. 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 See, like back in the caveman days, in the time where we didn't drive cars, we weren't living in high-rise buildings, and we didn't have GPS. The idea of a man was to go out and hunt. At first he would have his coffee or whatever he would have, and he would go out and hunt with his man friends, and he'd like bring back some beast that the woman would then cook, and they would sit and eat and lay around, and like those were the days. And so the woman, cave woman, was hanging out at the cave. Maybe she has a little cave baby, or maybe they have a cat or a snake or some kind of pets. But coming home and smelling the smell of cooking, I think is something really, really wonderful. I loved I loved as I was growing up, I would wake up from a nap or wake up sometime, and my mother had been cooking something, or I'd go over to my grandmother's house, and you walk into the house and you smell, oh, she's been cooking something. Do you have any memories of walking into a house and smelling someone's been cooking something?
Hmm. I wish I had a cave where a cave woman would make a cave soup for me. I'm a bit a caveman myself. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we don't that much different from people who lived 2 billion years ago, because you can take the man out of the cave, but I think the cave is always with you. You can't take the caveman out of the man. Yeah,
Yes, and
and
there is an expression that I'm not sure if all of our subscribers know. I don't mean to assume that some of them might not know it. I mean, I know that Tony Carnes knows it. I know that Mark Stevens knows it. I know that, well, Ralphie Boy and Michael and Titania. Well, I'm okay. So the expression is man cave. The idea is that a man needs to have a place to go. And during my grandfather's time, the house was the domain of the woman, but he had his little garage off to the back. It's like a little wooden house, and he had a little small refrigerator in there. He had his beer, and he had his cigarettes, and he had a little pinup calendar of some like sexy girls in bikinis, and he had all his tools to work on his car. And sometimes, he would just go back there into his man cave and just get away from it all, or maybe he and my uncle would be out there, and they were all getting ready. They were getting ready to, maybe they had come back from deer hunting, because we're in deer season right now. And the philosopher truck driver, Jaredon, was just posting about, he had just killed some deer, and now he was, dressing it, which means like turning it into, sausage and steaks and stuff like that. But I know that the idea of a man cave, it's not that the man is hiding. It's just that a man sometimes needs to get away and just be with his buddies or be on his own and not be constantly nagged by his wife or his cave woman.
It's funny you brought that up because we men, we want to be alone but not lonely. We need like the family and wife just to be nearby, and we had this man cave. We need this man cave place because we keep all our favorite stuff in there and then do what we want, right? Because what happens in the man cave stays in the man cave. And I used to be, when I was young, it used to be like my room, but then I got married, so now I need a man cave.
Well, there's a painting. I guess it's a painting. I've always seen it as a print. It's called Dogs Playing Poker. And I think you and I have joked off and on over the years about this painting. It just shows some dogs playing poker, and one's the dealer, and some of them are looking at their cards, and maybe there's some beer on the table. But some men like to go out and just like play poker with their friends or drink and just get away from the wife and the worries and the financial responsibility. And I think that I think that's good. And and when the men are away, then the women are also doing womanly things. So maybe they're having some drinks in the late afternoon and talking about different things that are going on. So I think the man cave and just sort of getting away is very natural. Of course, during the pandemic, we were all away. It was kind of weird, but we're in post-pandemic times now. Is that what they call it?
I don't know what they call it anymore. I don't pay attention to news anymore. I'm so tired of following all these awful things that keep happening. But speaking of dogs playing poker, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I remember maybe you haven't seen that picture of the painting before I told you. Was it 3 years ago? Anyway, and I came across it watching the movie called The Accountant. And there was a guy, I think the Ben Affleck, does that ring any bell? Do you know that such an actor? Yeah, Ben Affleck was an accountant.
It rings a bell, but go on, keep going. It was a movie with, I know. Ben Affleck
you're on
was
the bell.
I know, I thought. No, it's not over. Don't panic. Don't be nervous. You said, does that ring a bell? Which means, does that remind you of anything? And I just was adding sound effects.
Sweet. So he said he I don't know, he spoke to Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick played another accountant, I think, in charge. And he said, I like dogs playing poker because dogs would never bet on things. I guess that's what he said. Because so it's incongruous. I like incongruity. And I thought, damn, that would I have said had I been next to Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
What would you say if you meet Anna Kendrick or Ben Affleck?
I would say Oh gosh, I will kind of maybe be stunned a little bit. I would just be kind of like, wow, there you are. And they would say, what's your name? And I would say, why don't you guess? And then I would just start playing mental games with them. So I'm kind of into mental gymnastics.
It's
So
like, sorry,
yeah, I mean,
go
that's
ahead.
how I hide. One of the ways I hide myself when I'm like at a party with some friends, and I don't really want someone to really get to know me, but I'm at the party and I just start like talking a bunch of nonsense. So I go, oh, guess what my name is? Or, oh, let me guess what your name is. So usually for men, I'll say, oh, I bet your name is either Chris or Michael. And they go, oh my God, how did you know my name is Michael? I swear, 75% of the time I'm right. Their name is either Michael or Chris. And they want to guess my name and they look at me and they say, well, I mean, you're wearing a hat. I go, rhymes with hat. They go, are are you the cat in the hat? I go, no, my name is not Cat. And they go, then someone else says like, oh, is your name Pat in the hat? And then I smile, and then I have uh, tricked them into not getting to know me, but just like playing mental games.
Do you have a T-shirt with your name on?
No, well, I have a bunch of name tags. I have all these name tags. At the Arboretum, which is this 40, 60, I don't know, 66 acres of land on White Rock Lake that has a beautiful mansion and it's botanical gardens and they have tulips there and they have tours and it's a fabulous place. Anyhow, I used to volunteer to be a docent in the house and give tours. It's explaining about the architecture and wandering around and talking. And so if you're a docent, you get a name tag and it has a big D on it, like D for Dallas Arboretum. And every year they give you a different one. One year it's green with white, and the next year it's white with green. So I happened to be at this I don't know, bar or somewhere hanging out. And I don't know, it was like an art party. And I was wearing this green paisley long dress and I have green eyes. And I thought, well, I'm just going to wear my Arboretum name tag. And so I'm, standing around art people. And some, someone said, and everybody was drinking a little bit. And someone said, oh my gosh, are you with the Dallas Morning News? Because Dallas Morning News is the newspaper. I go, yes, I am. They go, wow. Now, did the name tag say Dallas Morning News with my name on it? No. It said Dallas Arboretum Volunteer with my name on it. But people, they just see what they want to see. They don't see what's really there. Do you have a T-shirt with your name on it?
No, no, I don't. I don't. Um,
I don't think you wear
I'm
T-shirts
sad.
because it's cold. You're sad now.
Yeah.
You
What is your
you want to?
anxiety level? Can you tell me if it's above 5
Oh,
or
I
below
feel
4?
great. I feel great. I, I was drinking for several hours yesterday. I had this amazing soup. I now have oatmeal. Today, I'm meeting somebody who said she only has 45 minutes in her schedule, but she would like to meet either for like barbecue, burgers, or brisket. Imagine being so busy that you have to tell someone you only have 45 minutes.
Um, I can't imagine it. I apologize.
Okay, but you're sad.
I am somehow, maybe it's a schizophrenia or something, but sometimes I feel good and next minute I feel so sad and tired and discouraged. Uh, maybe I'm an alcoholic. Maybe that's why, because
Well,
I don't know. I've never been to therapy. I've never
You're in
been to
therapy
AA
right.
meeting.
You're in therapy right now. Now, so there's psychotic diagnosis, and then there's neurotic diagnosis. So psychotic means break from reality. So, for example, you think spiders are crawling on you. You think someone's talking to you inside the mirror. You think somebody wants you to jump off this ledge. So that is a break with reality. So schizophrenia is a psychotic diagnosis. What you have is neurosis, neurotic behavior. Neurotic. I have it too. So all the anxiety disorders are classified under neurosis. And also, you might have, myself included, me and you, which would be me, we might have a little bit of well, it's a spectrum. I think they call it manic depressive, but it's really a spectrum. Like sometimes I feel like so energetic, I want to write something. I'm going to get my guitar out and learn how to play that again. Or like, oh my gosh, I have to go to this community garden and collect vegetables. Like that's kind of manic behavior. Like you can't do all that in one day. And then maybe I go to the garden and I collect some vegetables and I come back and I make some soup and I see my guitar sitting there. And then I feel suddenly sad because I told myself I was going to pick up the guitar again. So that's an example of manic depressive. So you say you sometimes have low energy, but sometimes you feel like doing stuff and you say you're going to go, maybe you're going to chop wood or maybe you're going to cut down some trees at your summer house. And then you just go out to your summer house and sit by the fire or have a drink or I don't know. Maybe
Wow.
you're on the spectrum.
Wow. You are the real expert in schizophrenia and neurosis.
Well, it's because I
I
taught it. I taught when you teach psychology that like in high school that like the two classifications are like, do you know what okay, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual is published by the American Psychological Association. So they classify all the different disorders. Well, enough about me. Well, we've talked about Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and some other psychologists. And, Freud started off as a doctor, and he wrote in 1899 his famous work, The Interpretation of Dreams. And how did he find all these dreams? Well, he found these women who would come to his office and they would have these various problems. And, like a good man, he said, why don't you lay down on my couch and tell me about it? Well, he sat in a chair and took notes, and the women would talk about different things that they were dreaming about. And so Freudian psychology, is one of the foundations of psychology. Are you feeling better now or worse?
No, I'm trying to remember the dream I had the other day, or was it 2 days before? I don't remember, and I can't. Also, I should have written it down once I was up, but I don't know. I didn't. Now I don't remember. I was gonna share it with you and try to interpret it, but now it's it's all gone.
Well, one of the things that people can do when you want, like, there's times when I'm dreaming a lot, and there's times when I'm not. I don't really seem to be dreaming or remembering my dreams so much. But one of the things you can do is, like, I know you're a modern man and you don't like a lot of papers and pencils and stuff, and you like to read things online. You like to read stories online. But like, I mean, you have probably some books too. But just put a little pad of paper and a pencil Or you could even go buy like a little journal and just set it next to your bed and just jot down things, because the time between waking and when you put your foot on the floor to get up out of bed is a very rich time where the imagery is fresh, the feelings are fresh. But by the time you go take a shower, go sit down and have a cup of coffee and flip through a newspaper, then you think like, gosh, what was that dream about? And then suddenly you remember like, oh yeah, there was a baby crawling towards the edge of a cliff. I had this dream of being in this old house, and it was like several stories, maybe like a 3-story house, and I had gone upstairs into the attic, ATTIC, and I glanced and I saw maybe like a child walking on these unstable boards, walking towards a little window. And I kept thinking someone needs to get the child, because if they make a false step or if they go too close to the window, they're going to fall off the edge. And I actually wrote that dream down and I took it to a therapist friend of mine over at Holy Trinity, where Father Don used to be the pastor over there. And I talked to Elia about this dream. So what do you think it might mean? Pretend that you're a therapist.
I liked how you described this, how you spoke about it. I felt like you've really opened up for a moment. Like you didn't try to keep anything, to hold anything back, and like.
Okay, now I'm starting to feel nervous. Yeah, yeah. No, you know.
No, when I. Okay, no. Well, I'm just messing with you. Sometimes I'm trying to this humor thing. It's interesting because sometimes you say something, people take you seriously, and sometimes you try to have a joke around, but
it doesn't go well.
Yeah, it doesn't end well.
Well, you know, with that dream, when I was talking to Miss Elia about it, she said, well, you know, Pat, you are, okay, so I'm the observer, I'm observing, and she said, and you're also the child, and you are close to the edge, and you're a little bit afraid that the child's going to go over the edge. I mean, we spent 45 minutes deconstructing this analysis together, you know. And she would ask me a couple questions. So in the dream, I am the person watching the dream. I'm also the person that feels a little bit like rescuing the child. But the bottom line on the dream was, she was asking me about how did I feel? I go, well, I was kind of excited and apprehensive, like, but it wasn't fear. I was not afraid. And what we concluded together as we sort of unraveled the dream is that I liked living on the edge, and that there's a kind of an adrenaline rush of doing exciting, fun, amazing things. And that I'm actually okay because I know how far to go and when to stop.
Do you, speaking of inner child, do you want to say something that your inner child may need to hear?
There's this really great song, "Keep on Dancing," da 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 da. Keep on dancing. It's like that Peanuts cartoon, like, you know, Charles Schultz has that cartoon, and there's Charlie Brown and Lucy and Pigpen and all, you know, Schroeder and all those people, and they have some little cartoons or animated specials where, you know, where they're dancing and playing the piano and just laughing and having fun. So I guess I would just tell my inner child just to keep on keeping on.
Wow, that's wonderful. I think that it's a great moment to wrap our episode up. And
I agree. I
I'm a
agree.
bit jealous. I'm a bit jealous because you found the perfect answer to my question,
Was it?
which would have
Oh,
put me to the dark side of the moon, but you were right away with the ready answer, and here you are on the bright side.
yeah. But
I
don't forget, don't forget, I had probably like 3 beers and two shots last
Yeah,
night, and now
I
I've
was
had
gonna say
2
that, but
cups.
no, I stopped
No, no. And then
myself.
I had about like 5 hours of sleep. Then I have had like a cup of coffee, and like, yeah. So like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Amen to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and we appreciate everybody's attention. And keep on dancing.
Keep on.